went back for my MA, I was working as a project manager for a translation company outside of Boston. And issues of communication and language and meaning struck me as very important in the negotiation of meaning between different languages and different cultural contexts. And so I went back to school at Emerson and then took a rhetoric class and fell in love with the subject and pursued my degree at the University of Maryland. I have focused my research interest on the study of American radical rhetoric in the early 20th century. I'm particularly interested in the strategies that anti-capitalist radicals at the beginning of the century used to protest what they saw as the injustices of American society and to fight for better living and working conditions for the working class, and particularly for immigrants. I have published on the campaign to save Sacco and Vanzetti from the electric chair. They were two Italian immigrant anarchists accused, convicted, and put to death for allegedly murdering a paymaster and his guard at a shoe factory in Massachusetts. It was one of the most controversial cases in American history, so I have done significant research on that. I have been involved in a documentary film on the subject, which has been broadcast in the United States and around the world, and have done lots of talks on that. I've edited with a colleague in the School of Communication, Jerry Delamater, a volume of essays on the cultural and political legacy of the Sacco and Vanzetti case. I'm now writing a book on an early 20th century labor activist, Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, who was also an outspoken civil liberties free speech fighter, and her efforts as an orator to fight for the right to free speech for people who challenge the status quo in a variety of ways. So she's an interesting figure because she was very radical and a woman, and there aren't as many women in the movement who have done as much as she has. She was one of the founders of the American Civil Liberties Union. They kicked her out in 1940 for being a communist. So she's a really interesting, exciting figure, and I think more needs to be known about her.